Facebook, and we are live on Instagram. Hey, y'all. Happy Tuesday. So grateful to be here today. And so, we're talking about how to persist even when you want to give up. Persist so that you never give up. Like giving up is not an option, right? And but let's just be real. Let's be real. There are moments, I've got my notes, I'm reading my notes. There are moments when we're ready to call it quits. Let's just speak the truth, okay? Whether to call it quits, whether it's our job, quit our jobs, quit our relationships, quit trying to lose weight and be healthy, quit trying to read that book or start that business, whatever it is, fill in the blank. But sometimes we really just want to quit, and that's okay. Let's say it's okay to feel that way, but quitting is not an option. And so today I want to talk about that. I want to share with you 5 powerful ways so that you persist until you succeed. Persist until you succeed. For those of you who I don't know, hey, I'm Coach Natalie, and I have the privilege of helping men and women, believe it or not. I used to say just women, but it's men and women to go from being stuck to unstuck and becoming unstoppable. And today is about mastering your mindset. Persist until you succeed. And I'm going to share with you 5 ways, 5 ways that's going to help you so that you never give up. And think about what we're experiencing right now, the Olympics, right? So every 4 years, the world witnesses the extraordinary feats of those athletes who have dedicated their lives, y'all, to a singular goal, like one goal, day in and day out. And what is that? To be on that Olympic podium and win that gold medal. That's what they're fighting for. And their journeys are not marked out by a smooth path, like this is what I want to do and now I'm here. No, it's marked out by victories, wins, losses, struggles, doubts, fear, grueling training, and yes, even setbacks. But here's what set them apart: they persisted, they didn't give up. They had a goal, they had a vision, and they were willing to do whatever it took to get to their desired goal, desired dream of standing on that podium and getting that medal. They persisted. And here's the thing: they are examples of what's possible for us. They are the evidence that when we persist, when we are committed, when we endure the setbacks, when we invest in the trainings, when we don't give up, even though things don't work out, when we persist through the challenges and the troubles and we don't give up, we too can achieve the success that we desire. We can achieve our goals, our dreams, and our aspirations. We can do it. And so let's talk about why we don't do it, right? We don't do it because we run away from pain. It's true. It's so natural. It's so normal. We naturally run towards pleasure and away from pain. So anything that feels like a struggle, anything that's difficult, challenges, sometimes, let's just be honest, we run the opposite direction. And that's like quitting up. That's like quitting up. I made that up. That's like quitting, right? We quit, we give up, we don't pursue because we think, oh, this is the dream I have, so it should be easy. That's not true. That's a lie. And if we believe the lie, then we give up on our dreams. You see, becoming unstoppable involves acknowledging that the fear, the setbacks, the challenges, the difficulties, the doubt is all part of the journey. It's all natural. It's part of the journey. And it helps us to become resilient. It helps us to become perseverers. It helps us to become overcomers. You have to become unstoppable. You don't just wake up and all of a sudden you're unstoppable. No, it's developing the core disciplines, is developing the consistency, is developing the habits that are going to help us to continue to pursue our goals, our aspirations, our dreams, even when it's difficult and challenging. And so, how do we do this? Because we always talk about what we need to do, but we don't always say how. Like, how do I persist? How do I persist so that I succeed? How do I persist so I never give up? I'm going to share with you 5 things that you may or may not know. Now, we all know about consistency. That's important. We have to be consistent. And we know about developing a positive mindset. We all know that, right? Gotta think positive in order to achieve your goals. And yeah, then you got to set realistic goals. Those are things that we commonly talk about. But I want to share with you 5 other ones that maybe you've considered and maybe you haven't, but they're going to help you to become unstoppable and persist so that you don't give up on you. And that's the thing. You can't give up on you. You can't give up on your dreams. They're your dreams for a reason. It's because you had the ability to make them come true. They've been given to you so that you can walk in your purpose. So you cannot give up on you. So as I share these 5 things, 5 ways for you to persist until you succeed, see yourself in them, embrace them, and then start taking action on them. So number 1, how do we persist and never give up? Number 1, embrace your fears. I know we say that a lot, but how do we do it? Because fear can stop you. Fear can trap you and paralyze you. But we have to embrace our fears and recognize that fear is a sign that you need to lean in, not run away. Lean in and figure out, okay, what exactly am I afraid of? What exactly has a hold on me? Because fear is just a sign that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, that you are getting ready to go into uncharted territories for you, that you're getting ready to do something new. And it can be exciting instead of scary, because the exciting and fear, they release the same chemical, cortisol. But it's the stories that you tell yourself that will make it either something to be scared of or something to be excited about. So you always have to check the stories that you're telling yourself, but you have to lean into that fear and do whatever is in front of you that you don't want to do. Because I guarantee you that once you press through that fear, it will no longer have a hold on you. And I think about when I first went live, like years ago, and I was so afraid, like, I don't want to do it. And it was like, well, why don't you want to do it? Well, because I didn't want the fear of rejection. I didn't want to show up and nobody shows up, right? Like nobody cares about what I'm saying. But then once I pressed the button the first time, then I pressed the button the second time, and then I pressed the button the third time, like, oh my goodness, I'm doing it. It's easy to go live. It's like a no-brainer, but I had to take the first step. Hey, Celia, I had to take the first step. And it's the same thing that you have to do. Whatever you're afraid of, face it, embrace it, lean into it, and start to eat fear for breakfast and persist until you succeed. Number 2, challenge your doubts. Woo, challenge your doubts, y'all, because doubts can be paralyzing. Doubt leads to discouragement. Discouragement leads to the death of a dream. When you start to doubt your abilities, you start to doubt your vision, you're giving up. It's disempowering you, it's not empowering you. See, you have to understand that doubt can be paralyzing, but it can also be an opportunity, here it is, to assess your strengths, to assess the stories that you're telling yourself. Like, why are you doubting your abilities? Why are you doubting your ability to persevere and to overcome whatever it is that's getting in your way? Think about a time when you were in a similar situation. How did you get over that? What did you do? Because you got through it, it proves that you can do it again. So examine the stories that you're telling yourself. Examine the belief system, because sometimes we believe that we can't do something, and that belief will get us stuck and we will not pursue our dreams. So we have to challenge those doubts. And then look for evidence to say, well, that isn't true. I I did that before. I can do that again. Hey Kim, glad to have you, right? So we have to challenge our doubts because often what we'll find is that our doubts are based on a speculation than reality. It's based on assumptions, and we know what happens when we assume things, right? We're basing it on because that didn't happen well in the past, it won't happen again today. That's not true. That's a doubt that we have to challenge so that we can now flip that story from something that's disempowering to something that's empowering and actually stop speculating and assuming and say, what is the truth? I can persist until I succeed. I can take the first step and overcome whatever that obstacle is that's getting in the way. Celia says, so true. Mindset will allow us to settle. Say it again. Yes, it is so true. We will settle for less than, settle for the status quo. We will not pursue. Mindset is everything. In fact, that's why I have that in my background. You can't see it on Instagram, but on Facebook, there's a picture that says mindset is everything. If we change our minds, we can change our lives. If we watch the stories that we're telling ourselves, become mindful of the stories that we're telling ourselves, we can become unstoppable. And that is the first step. Okay, so we talked about number one, embracing your fears. Number two, challenging your doubts. Here's number three. Here is number three. If you haven't written anything down, this is the time you want to write it down. Number three, stop playing the comparison game. Let me pause. Let me pause and take a sip of water because that's big. Stop playing the comparison game. Stop looking at what somebody else is doing and then comparing your life to what they're doing. Stop looking at how she's climbing the corporate ladder and you still in your job, in your position that you want to get out of. Stop looking at how her husband or boyfriend does something different. Stop looking at where she's spending her vacation. Stop comparing. Stop looking at how she wear her hair, the clothes she got on, the purse she carried, the car she drives. So what? Stop playing the comparison game and start embracing who you are, embracing your unique journey, embracing your unique talents and gifts and your life experiences. Start embracing your achievements because, see, when you compare your life to somebody else's life, you are now minimizing what you've accomplished and achieved in your life. You're comparing your life to her post, what she's doing. Understand, posts are edited versions of our lives. We all edit our posts. We edited the words, we edit our pictures, right? Stop comparing your life to somebody else's post because there's always a story behind that post. And oftentimes the story is not the same as what the post is, right? There's always a backstory. And so what we have to do is stop playing the comparison game because when you compare, you feel inadequate. You start minimizing what you do, what you have done, what you have overcome. Now you can always look for you can look for encouragement in other people's lives, but don't compare your journey to theirs. We're all unique. We all have a unique perspective, and we all have unique gifts and talents that we bring to the table. We have to remember that. And here's number four. Once you stop playing the comparison game, learn from setbacks. Learn from the trials. Learn from the challenges. Learn from the things that didn't go as you wanted it to go. And take a pause and say, okay, what didn't work? Why didn't it work? And what can I do differently? What can I do differently so that I can continue to persist until I succeed? The setbacks are there to teach us, they're not to stop us. The setbacks are there to teach us and not get us stuck. Because when we get stuck in what didn't work, now we're no longer pursuing our goals and our dreams and our aspirations. But I need you to just learn the lessons and lean in so that you can keep on going to get to the finish line, right? And then the last one, the fifth one, is very important. And sometimes we don't do it. We don't do it. And maybe it's just me. I'm guilty of it. We don't celebrate our success. Celebrate the progress that you're making on the journey, whether it's a little tiny thing or it's a big thing. Celebrate it all because that celebrating will encourage you and empower you, and it will keep you excited so that you keep going. Because we stop when we get discouraged. We stop when we are afraid of taking that leap because we'll get rejected or it won't work out. We stop because we're comparing our progress to somebody else's. But when we stop doing all of that, that's a reason to celebrate, right? To celebrate that, you know what, I showed up today. Celebrate, I wrote the page of my book. Celebrate, you started the business. Celebrate that you didn't eat the donut that you could have had for breakfast. Celebrate that you got to work on time. Whatever it is, celebrate your life and the progress that you've made. It is so very important. So these are the 5 things that I have shared with you that you have to persist until you succeed. 5 ways. Number 1, embrace your fears. Number 2, challenge your doubts. Number 3, stop playing the comparison game. Number 4, learn from setbacks. And number 5, celebrate your successes every single day. So you have to persist until you succeed. I don't know who said it, but I totally embrace it, totally resonate. And this is something that I have to remind myself every single day. I have to say it out loud. Natalie, persist until you succeed. And you can do the same thing for yourself. Encourage yourself, keep going. And see, the journey to achieving our goals, our dreams, our aspirations, it may be long. It may be challenging. It may be stormy season in and out. It just may be something that feels like it's going to take you out, but it will not. It will not. You are becoming who you were meant to be. It's that journey of becoming unstoppable because you don't wake up unstoppable. You become that resilient woman or man. You become that person who overcomes challenges. You become who you were meant to be as you embrace this journey and you persist until you succeed and get exactly what you desire. All right, that's all I got today. I hope it encourages you. I hope you stay on this journey. I am always here, Coach Natalie, here to cheer you on, to encourage you that you can go from being stuck to unstuck, becoming unstoppable and achieving your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. It's all yours if you're willing to take the first step. Celia, Kim, thank you so much for joining. I'm waving at you on Instagram. And thank you all for watching the replay. Leave your comments because I want to know what are some specific fears or doubts that you have faced in the past and how did you overcome that? Because however you overcame that, that's what you'll need so that you can persist until you succeed. Leave it in the chat wherever you're watching this. I hope to hear from you. Be blessed.